Welcome to yeah, fuck it, whatever. Hello, welcome to the Brain Block podcast. I assume that's the podcast we're doing. We don't. No.
I mean, we have a podcast ostensibly where we read fan fiction. We have a podcast ostensibly where we read fan.
Yeah. Watch that as well.
Where we read
like,
fan.
comment, and subscribe.
Or don't even comment. Just like the video, please.
Yeah.
No,
Need
don't like the
validation.
video, just like
Yeah.
me as a person. Make me feel loved.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
we are off to a great start tonight.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, can someone listen in on the stream for a second so we can get some audio checks on my side?
Your side.
Because my side's the one that gets uploaded.
Yeah. So let me just go to the C's Twitch.
I call him Dave. I mean, currently they're just looking at nothing. Don't worry, you shouldn't be able to hear the game audio. If you
Okay.
can, you've got amazing listening skills because there is game audio. Because yes, I can turn it off. I just didn't completely turn it off.
Okay. Everyone say something.
Game audio. YOLO Swaggins.
Hi, folks. I'm Scrappy Fan 92. We are recording on Sunday because I made a boo boo last night. Hi, folks.
Yeah.
I'm Scrappy Fan 92. We are.
Okay, and I'll say some random thing. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, there were problems with timekeeping, so.
And there will be problems tomorrow when we record Storytime with Scrappy, episode 5.
Something. Like
We are episode 6.
Do we have people on board for that tomorrow? Do we have people on?
Not Joey, Harry, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, Harry.
Tanner and Xavier and Nova agreed.
Okay.
So,
and
yeah,
Lewis says he's a maybe. I'll ask him. I'll ask him later, but Lewis might join.
Our story is about many women, and we have like no women in our cast because.
Yeah.
We have less women in our available pool of reserves as of recent.
Yeah.
And Maddie is recovering from an illness, so she could not attend, unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah, the audio seems fine.
Alright, cool. Alright, so let's talk about Spyro.
Well, first, do we talk about Disruptor or whatever for a few seconds?
Do we really actually have that much to say about this Raptor other than the acknowledgement of it and what we could read off Wikipedia?
Let's just let's Scrappy talk, I guess.
I have a passionate story about Disruptor.
Okay.
Once upon a time, a company called Insomniac Games made a shooter, and the publisher liked it so much that they commissioned them to make a game about a dragon. The end.
Amazing.
Yes, Disruptor was Insomniac Games' first game, released in 1996 for the PlayStation and published through Universal Interactive Studios, and apparently distributed by Interplay in Europe. So yeah, first game, and I believe that's how Insomniac's people met a man named Mark Cerny.
Oh, they
Spyro
got,
is also called Ripto in Japanese.
yeah, that's how they got the name for Reptile.
But what's Ripto's name in the
Japan?
second game in Japan?
Yeah, that's right. I want to know that too.
Jesus, can I speak this language? I mean, it's not like I know many others.
So I don't actually know what I'm.
I swear in German, but that's about it.
I don't actually know what I'm doing in this game.
You're doing great. Alright, Spyro 1. Let's go. In Spyro 1, you go on an adventure after Nasty Nork turns all of your friends into stone. You are the youngest dragon, and now go on a big adventure that you're not ready for to rescue everyone and defeat Nasty Nork once and for all. And collect the dragon eggs along the way. Did I get that right?
Pretty much. I have no idea what's going on in this game because it's Japanese and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, dragon eggs that, like, you know, aren't supposed to be there as of Spyro 3, because we learn how the dragon's life cycle seems to work.
Look, retcons, okay? They harden in response to physical trauma.
So, yeah, Spyro 1, that Insomniac's second game, also released for the PlayStation and published by produced by Universal, published by Sony, because how things worked in the 90s, apparently.
Yeah.
Spyro is not ostensibly, it is definitely the sister series of Universal's Crash Bandicoot franchise.
Yeah, they like doing the crossover stuff a lot, and the both games had like demos for another game on the other side, and it's really cool.
I think the games were being developed in the same building. And
I believe they were. Because of Universal's pretty fast production schedule in those days, and honestly continuing up through the PlayStation 2 era, we got 3 Spyro games between, well, a period of about 2 years, and that's around the same period of time that the last 3 PS1 Crash games came out, so there were demos for each of those respective games on the other game.
Yeah.
And thus began a long, weird history of Insomniac and Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
I used to think the Crash games were developed, not the Crash games, the Spyro games were developed by Naughty Dog, but that's wrong. I'd like to see them. I would have liked to see them try in the 90s. That could have been interesting.
That could have been interesting, like, do like a swap of, like, who gets to develop what game.
It's actually a shame that the companies today are now just a ghost of their former selves.
I mean, like...
They really are.
You never really... Well, I mean, Spider-Man was really good, but, like, you never really know what, companies are like, because, like, they always change, like, who's actually in it, and, you know, it's never the same.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but particularly now, a Dark Age doesn't cover how far they've fallen.
I feel like that's only really the case with the Ratchet & Clank reboot, though, because the last thing they did was Spider-Man, and that was just really good across the board, so...
I don't want to get into it, because I don't really know much about it myself, but Naughty Dog make The Last of Us, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
The
Last of Us 2 has some really big problems with it because, okay, the script leaked.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
This has led to revelations of problematic things. Where there have been mass pre-order cancels and.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it because I just don't need the hassle. But from what I've heard, it's not the only thing that's going on between these companies.
I'll say this right now. I have more experience with the with Naughty Dog's games than I do Insomniac.
See, I have about equal. Maybe a little more here and there.
Yeah. Because I played the Crash trilogy and I played the Jack trilogy. I played Nitro Fueled, which is basically just CTR, so that counts, I guess.
Yes.
The only a cartoony platformer I haven't played of them is Jack X, I think.
Well, I mean, as you know, that's not really a platformer, but
Well, I know,
sure
no, but like I just mean in terms of just like the cartoony design kind of thing. Like that's it. In terms of that, that's the only Noidor game I haven't played. I want to play Uncharted at some point. I don't know if I'll ever play Last of Us though. That doesn't really seem like my kind of thing.
Do you like human beings getting impaled?
Not particularly.
Then you will probably not like The Last of Us.
I mean, human beings getting impaled is like my favorite thing ever.
Well,
I'm leaving it at that now. But The Last of Us, it just isn't my kind of game.
I've watched I've watched a playthrough of it, and it seems like one of those games that's more fun to see people watch than play. Does that make sense?
Sounds like an inverse to like our
Games that
two
would
most
win
recent
extra
Let's Plays.
release.
Yeah, pretty much. But going back to Spyro though, I think a good way to start this would be like how you guys first got into Spyro and your general first experiences with the original.
Okay. Well, like Crash before, my memories with the franchise actually mostly come from the third game. I think my brother rented or got a copy from his friends of Spyro Year of the Dragon, a third game. That's the third game, and I apologize if my audio isn't coming through for anyone watching this. We know the drill at this point. So yeah, Spyro 3. I see my brother playing through it. Something about the pastel colors and just kind of fantasy played straight, but also kind of parodied. Backdrop and environments, I guess, just appeal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this during the Year of the Dragon playthrough you did back in 2018, but yeah, Bianca getting torched by Spyro was something that always stuck out to me for some reason. Yeah, so that's my early PS1 Spyro story, and then I got Spyro 2, not that one, Season of Flame on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh right. Yeah, I'm sorry,
I just find that funny.
Thank you.
Actually, I'll let you finish first before I was gonna say the thing I was gonna say.
So, yeah, I played that. Like, honestly, the more I think about it, the more I kind of realize that's a very impressive Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just from a technical perspective, it's impressive how they were able to translate the gameplay to an isometric perspective, but it's 3D enough.
Yeah.
And then I got Spyro Enter the Dragonfly on the GameCube.
It's the best game.
Fun birthday.
That was the best game.
I actually didn't hate it as a kid, so...
It was actually the first Spyro game that I owned. Like,
yeah, same.
My
I
brother
haven't
owned other Spyro games, but I owned the Year of the Dragonfly.
Yeah, I didn't... That was also my first owned Spyro game, but I'll get to my story in a bit.
So, yeah, I apparently Enter the Dragonfly, for all of its infamy, was able to convert us, sort of. And, so yeah, I enjoyed it, never beat it, but... Sorry, what'd you say, Joey?
I said one of us.
So, my brother and I enjoyed Enter the Dragonfly, but never beat it despite it being only like 9 levels long. Maybe that was foreshadowing for something else, for a problem that was in a game itself.
Yeah. Perhaps.
But anyways, yeah. So I guess that made me a fair weather Spyro fan.
Alright.
Yeah, I remember seeing commercials back in 2004 for the Game Boy Advance crossover of Crash Bandicoot. Oh my gosh, those games must be amazing! I never played them.
Uh,
And yeah, I didn't play another Spyro game for well about 5.5 years
Dang.
until my friend basically downloaded the original trilogy on their PS3, and I tried out Spyro 2. Made me vomit, or I wanted to vomit rather, but seriously, we'll get to that when we get to Spyro 1 proper. Yeah, played Spyro 2 briefly, enjoyed it when I wasn't, dizzy, and about a year later, I decided to download the trilogy proper on my own, so I could play because I was going through Crash's trilogy first. So I started
Okay.
with Spyro 1 in September of 2012 and played through it, and that's my Spyro story.
Okay. Do you want to go next, or do you want me to go?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I have stories. So, I was really too young to remember pretty much any of this properly. Like, this is going into weird topic of conversation, but when you're a kid, like, you don't have memories of when you were before a certain age.
Right.
Uh-huh.
My memories start existing around a time when my brother had a PS1,
Oh yeah.
and he had. I can't remember for the life of me which Spyros it was, but anyway, so it must have been Spyro 1, and I remember watching him play these games and thinking, wow, these look great, because video games, it's a new thing to me,
Yeah.
along with pretty much everything. And of course, I want to have a go, but my brother's been a dick his entire life. Congratulations, it's quite an achievement. Genuinely, I salute you, Billy.
But you
And
have a brother?
yeah, I have a brother.
Oh, screw him if you go on.
Fuck's sake, where was I? I'm distracted now. Fuck.
Your
Yeah,
brother
what was
wouldn't
that?
let you play.
Yeah, my brother wouldn't let me play the games because it was his PlayStation 1. I can't touch it. I'm a child. I'm a baby, and he's like 4 years fucking older than me. And he's always been like this. It's like, I can't touch it. I'm a horrible monster. My mere being in 5 feet of the fucking thing will cause it to implode on itself. No, seriously, this must have been how he was thinking. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't remember if I ever played on the PS1 more than 3 times in my entire life before I moved to my current dwelling. Because, as I said, memories only just forming then. So, I really don't know. I also remember one of my earlier memories... No, one of my earliest memories is actually sneaking onto the PS1 when my brother wasn't around.
Oh.
And actually playing Spyro 2 in the first level of it, and I cannot fucking like, it lasted maybe a whole 5 minutes because the memory cuts off my brother basically wrenching me off the fucking thing.
Oh. Good dang.
What a lovely childhood you had.
I know, right? Doesn't explain anything about me at all and why I'm not protective over my freaking stuff.
Yeah, no, I can. Yeah, I can understand that.
And also have a freaking disposition to thinking, why can't I use the thing? Or like, I want to touch that thing. And then just touching it before asking anyone if it's okay. Because if I ask, it's probably drilled into my head that they're just going to wrench it away and send it into another dimension. So, yeah, fun times being me.
Yeah.
That's when I don't have problems. Oof.
Yeah.
Spyro 3, I have more memories of, and it's also why it's my favorite Spyro game,
Fair enough.
is because my brother got a PS2 after we moved into my current house, and I got the PS1 sort of. It got. I think what more so happened is it got misplaced when we moved, and I plugged it into my television in my room. And my brother didn't give a shit because any game he could play, he played on his PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, any chance I had that I could, I would go into his room and steal his games, and
That's
I still
amazing.
actually do this sometimes.
That's amazing.
And one of the games that I stole that I played most of was Spyro 3. There's
Okay.
also this other game that I played like one time called C12, and I need to get a hold of another copy of it because it's drilled into my memory that this fucking thing exists. Nobody knows about it. I can guarantee it's not a good game. And it frigging terrified me.
Dang.
I think the furthest I
As-
got in it was like to the second screen.
Does it terrify you as much as the PS2 error message?
Oh, nothing terrifies me more than that. Like, that's the most fucking horrifying thing anyone's seen in their entire life. You cannot be horrified more than the PS2 error message.
Yeah. I remember you did like a challenge just to see how long you could last on it.
5 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you know
no,
about it,
as someone
Scrappy?
as someone who's actually had near-death experiences, that scares me more.
Have you seen the PS2 error message, Scrappy?
It sounded like your audio cutout said crappy earlier. No, I have not, and I'm not sure if I want to.
You want to explain it, Joey?
What am I explaining now?
The PS2 error message.
Alright. Put in a game or a disc that the PlayStation 2 can't read. The easiest way of doing it is just sticking an Xbox 360 game or an Xbox, like any Xbox game or post PS2 PlayStation game, and I can guarantee you'll get the red screen from it because it's basically just saying we can't fucking read this disc. It doesn't necessarily mean that the disc is broken, but it does translate to your PlayStation game is broken.
Yeah.
If it's a PlayStation 2 game, your disc's fucked. If it's anything else, you brought it upon yourself.
Yeah. It's like, you should put in like an Xbox game and just watch it. It's like, no.
My brother and I put a Dreamcast copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 into a PlayStation 2 once. I don't think we got that screen.
Oh.
Really, you didn't get the red screen with all the blocks and the nasty vroom sound.
Maybe we did, but I cannot remember because that was like 17 years ago.
I recommend it. Definitely torture yourself and regret every decision after that in your entire life. It is the worst fucking thing. If I ever had to kidnap someone and tie them into a basement, I'd hold their eyelids open with tape and then force them to watch that until they spoke.
Good.
Because that is how you do torture.
So, forget like torture devices or whatever, just make them stare at that
That's
screen.
Joe talking about weapons in video games.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Are you actually condoning freaking paying me to lock someone into a basement
No!
and talk about weapons? Because that's what that sounded like.
No, we're not. I'm not actually. No. No, it does actually sound like.
The
That.
worst thing ever.
No, it sounds like that episode in MLP where like they use Pinky as like like a weapon basically, It's like,
Oh, the one where Applejack fucks off to hide
Yeah.
from her mistakes.
yeah, that one.
And no one actually cares about her mistakes that much because it's just not that big a fucking deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
you.
that is. Oh yeah. After that, I got a PS2 eventually, and with it, I got Crash 4, Spyro 4, and Harry Potter and the Quidditch World Cup,
This,
which is actually a pretty good game.
Yeah, I've heard as much. The others I'm not sure about.
Yeah, the others make you question how the fuck did I actually get into video games.
Yeah.
Which might as well translate to, my first game was Dark Souls!
Well, at least with that, like,
I'm
Dark
talking more
Souls is...
With that, I'm talking more about the torture side of it than the freaking good game side of it.
Yeah. I mean, Wrath of Cortex can be argued, but Spyro 4, no.
Let's just say I spent far more time playing Wrath of Cortex than Spyro 4.
Yeah.
Because it is miles better.
Yeah, it's still not great. I still think Wrath of Cortex is bordering on mediocre in a lot of ways, but it's a lot better than Enter the Dragonfly.
How do you get that nanotech power?
I like how I'm the only one not playing a game while recording.
I'm doing both. Me and Harry are doing both each.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I've always done this during a podcast, so it's natural.
I'm just doing this because I need something to distract me from all of my problems.
Do you want me to go now?
Yes, leave. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, my first experience with Spyro was the fact that I found out that there's... Oh, if you put, like, some variation of the Konami code in Crash 3, you get a Spyro 1 demo, and that was, like, my only exposure to the series for a long time, and I just remember playing that demo over and over again, and I remember me as well as, like, I think, I don't know if it was just my brother or my siblings in general, but either way, we always wanted to play the Spyro trilogy at some point, but for whatever reason we could just never find the games, so that just never ended up happening. So my first experience with the series proper, as I alluded to earlier, is Enter the Dragonfly, and I didn't exactly hate the game back then, but I knew that even back then that something was up, because I remember like the first stage is the dojo, and one of the minigames there is the one in the tank, and I remember hating that with like a burning passion, and I just could never beat it, and I remember being frustrated by the long load times and all that stuff, and I could enjoy it enough on a base level, but you know, even back then I could tell that something was up, and I wasn't really having a great time with it, and I didn't actually get to play the Spyro trilogy until I got it on the PSN store, and basically I just played through the trilogy, and thus that was pretty much my only experience with Spyro for a long time, outside of like Enter the Dragonfly as well, and that stayed until Reignited came out, and I've also played those versions, and that's essentially it. And I don't want to talk too much about my feelings towards the trilogy now, because we'll get to that, but that's essentially it for me. I got in through, I got interested through the Spyro 1 demo, played Spyro 4 first, and then played the trilogy in like 2014 or something. That's all I've got to say, really.
Speaking on that and your experiences between Insomniac and Naughty Dog, I'm not surprised you played Jak and Daxter 1 first, but I'm pretty sure you will prefer Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, and 3 more than Jak 2 and 3.
Well, Jak 3 was really good, but...
Wow, a second person on the planet other than me that likes Jak 3. Holy shit.
I mean, I've talked about this in C's before. Like, I feel like I might have been a bit too harsh on Jak 2, in hindsight, but I do genuinely think that Jak 3 was a massive improvement.
Jak, you were not too hard on Jak 2. Jak 2 was too hard on you.
I mean,
Jak 2 is hard as fucking nails, and I actually need to play through it.
My thing with Jak
It's
2,
right here.
yeah, my thing with Jak 2 is that a lot of my frustration came from like the bonus stuff, like the stuff you don't even need to do for the story. And I feel like if I just ignored that on a second run and just did the story content, I wouldn't mind it as much. But I'd have to, I need to play it again to be sure on that. But yeah, we'll probably talk about the Jak trilogy at some point.
Yeah, we'll have that as another episode.
Yeah. But you guys want to, like, actually...
That actually gives me idea to actually run 3 other episodes, to be fair.
Yeah. So you guys want to start on Spyro 1 itself now?
No, I want to get a bag of licorice, but since I don't have that, I'll talk about Spyro 1. Okay.
Licorice is awful.
I know my dad
No,
loves...
you don't have to be here, you know that.
I know my dad loves
Well, I
licorice.
do actually have to be here, but if you insist, no.
Licorice is just too strong for me.
It's not even that it's strong, I just don't like it. Like,
Well, I mean,
like
it's...
Dolly Mix, but that's not really licorice, is it?
I can't do black licorice. Like, that just... I can't.
I mean...
I like red licorice.
Red licorice is alright.
I don't know why we're talking about this.
I don't know. We just have this inherent aversion to actually talk about the topic at hand.
This is just how we exist.
Existence is futile. Red licorice.
Anyways.
Anyway, Spyro 1, it's the one that I technically played, the one I technically directly played last in the trilogy, if like my memory serves me well. Yeah, didn't give a proper run through of it until, well, what'd you say, Joey?
Don't worry about it.
I didn't give a proper run through it of myself until September 2012, and that was after trying a demo of it through Crash 3, which I downloaded on the PlayStation 3 because PS1 classics.
Ah, yeah.
So cheap, so good. Yeah, I'm nostalgic for the nostalgia area that they had. Oh my gosh, I am old.
Just remember,
So,
everything from our childhood is retro. Halo 3 is retro.
Yeah.
yep. I'm 23. I'm too young to be getting this nostalgic. So, Spyro 1.
I don't really get nostalgic myself.
I get too nostalgic too quickly and too often, so consider yourself blessed, Joey.
I mean, I don't think nostalgia is necessarily like something to be ashamed of.
It's not really anything to actually be ashamed of, but
Yeah, it's like if there's an aspect of something that makes you enjoy it more. I think that's fine, honestly.
I just got a trophy for beating the B2 Brawl without getting hit.
Time for me to get nostalgic for a game I played nearly a decade ago. Spyro the First. It's obviously, as Jason would call it, it's probably a pretty early example of first game-itis. It's Harry will disagree because he prefers it over Spyro 2 for various reasons, but
yeah, I'll get to that.
In terms of just like, I guess, what's the word? Atmosphere, it does feel like a different beast from its two immediate sequels.
Yeah, definitely.
For one, there's no friendly NPCs aside from the balloonists who take you to the different hub areas. Because Spyro sure as heck ain't gonna fly himself.
I mean, it's not like he's got wings or anything.
Unless he's in a speedway level. I never understood that. Like,
fairy magic.
Basically, I'm just gonna presume Spyro is like hallucinating himself, like shooting down trains full of Nork.
okay, I gotta mention this because even as a kid, I was wondering like what's the deal with that, because I remember playing when I played the demo in Crash 3, I was thinking, oh, maybe in like the final game you'll unlock the ability to fly around like forever, and like this flying stage is like a little taste for that, and little did I know that was just the gimmick of those kinds of stages.
Oof. So, to provide a more quote-unquote detailed description of what Spyro 1 entails, yeah, it's a platformer, sort of, but not more open than Crash Bandicoot and more about exploration and collection. So you play as Spyro, this young dragon who's very small, can only glide as opposed to properly flying.
I already said all.
It's a segue into the gameplay description. Hold on.
Okay.
Save your dragon brethren, who are basically the MacGuffins of this game.
Yeah.
You go around attacking the Norks who have been transformed from these mystical items called gems, and that's just what they are, gems. You'll use gems to, well, buy... What do you buy in that game? Balloonist stuff?
The
Can
thing.
I just talk about something real quick? That's a
What?
very expensive army, considering that you've got these magical crystals of sorts.
I mean, the thing
And that
is,
you've just mutated them into an army.
yeah, because
You've
like the
gotta
whole
be
thing,
loaded to do that.
the whole thing with the gems in Spyro 1 is that they were like Nasty Nork's magic like turns some of the gems into enemies, and yeah.
So, do the Norks have to sell themselves to get stuff?
I don't know. Like, I don't really know how that works.
This is gonna get into a very weird place very quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you run, you jump, you have a side roll for some reason.
Yeah, it's like
And-
never used.
It comes in handy in the first boss level, and pretty much only there.
Yeah. And like, there's a reason that's 2 and 3, like, in the originals anyway. Like, it's in Reignited 2 and 3 just to make all 3 games connect to each other better. But in the originals, they cut that move after 1.
So, yeah, basically it just spend levels which are pretty big, exploring and fighting enemies and saving your dragons who are fellow dragons who are like barely guarded.
Yeah, and like, what I like about the game is that the idea is very simple. Like, you need Nasty Knock got ticked off because the dragons were like saying, "Oh, he's no threat" and all this, and you need to get the treasure back because that's what dragons do. They like their treasure, and some of the enemies some of the gems were turned into enemies, which in turn means you're like taking care of Nasty's army, and then by extension you're saving the dragons and everything, and it's a simple premise that gives you a nice feedback loop and makes you want to beat the bad guy basically and have like a simple form of motivation, which I think is very important for a game like this. Collectathons like Spyro are very simple in nature, and I think it's important to have some kind of goal to work towards, or a reason to care about the stuff you're doing. And I think for Spyro 1's basic premise, it does the job relatively well, and it doesn't do anything too out of the ordinary, but it's just that simple push that makes the player want to like keep going. And you know, it's fun to hear the dialogue with the dragons.
Right.
I do wish that the bosses, well, everyone thinks this, but I do wish the bosses were handled better, or like Nasty Knock actually had like a cutscene before his fight, because it just kind of happens. But besides that, yeah.
Nasty Knock being a pretty lead threat to the drag race. Spyro doesn't seem to acknowledge his existence much until the end scene.
Yeah.
Which I think kind of speaks to how most of the bosses in the first game are treated anyways. They're, for all intents and purposes, glorified enemies.
Yeah,
like
they are.
generic enemies.
Like one of the bosses is literally just Papu Papu.
Yeah, the nature of Spyro 1 is different from its sequel, and the boss levels are actual, like, you know, platforming stuff to do.
Yeah, it makes the fact that the boss stages are platforming stages makes me not harp on them too much, because the actual stages themselves that accompany them aren't actually too bad. So it's like, I think you're at least getting something out of it, but in terms of an actual fight, it's yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, like, unlike, say, Super Mario World, bosses are not optional, but you're not really locked in with them. When you find them, you can basically just turn back and go continue getting your stuff, which is a good thing for this kind of game, but it does kind of just make the bosses look like slightly glorified mooks.
Yeah, because you don't actually have to fight any of the bosses besides Nasty, right?
I would hope you have to fight some of them, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, because like the
What I've
thing.
seen of the first game, everything is optional except for the boss, the final boss.
That
Well, I mean,
sounds about right.
Well, I mean, the way Spyro 1 is structured is that, unlike 2 and 3, where you need to get the gems and stuff for, say, a money bags thing, or unlocking levels and whatnot, they're entirely based on the balloonists, and every world has like a different requirement. I think the first one is dragons, and then it's like gems, and then the dragon eggs, etc., etc. So you still have like some incentive to like get things, but it's not. I'll admit, like it's not as strong as the other games.
What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. So, Yeah, Spyro 1's an interesting case where the boss music is scarier than the actual bosses most of the time.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie though, Toasty absolutely terrified me when I just found him standing there.
See, I didn't even know that was Toasty at first, because I literally, I was just like, oh, this is like an interesting mook. And then when I went to the door where the portal was, I was like, alright, so where's the boss at?
Oh, that's hilarious. I can't lie though, like, Toasty was like that one SpongeBob meme. He's just standing there menacingly.
You know, the funny thing, and this isn't really saying much in hindsight, but Toasty, purely because of the dog enemies, might be one of the trickier bosses just because just because of the enemies, because those was like, especially early on, those dog guys are actually kind of deadly. But the boss itself is like nothing.
Toasty himself, I don't even know Toasty's gender, but Toasty is hilarious because it's actually just a sheep in
That's a good
Scarecrow's
joke.
clothing.
That is a pretty good joke.
Can't lie, I got whacked by the stilts, and I took burning vengeance on that sheep afterwards.
Oh my god.
Speaking of sheep, yeah, that's, Spyro is interesting in that there's pretty much always health running around the field.
Yeah.
Not for Spyro, though. It's kind of weird, like...
Here's the thing, though. You'd think, wow, I'm a dragon, I'll eat that sheep. No, you won't eat that sheep. Sparks will eat the butterfly that's inhabiting the sheep.
Yeah, it's interesting how both Crash and Spyro had like a partner helping them. And both of the characters didn't get a personality until their third respective game.
I mean,
It's kind of...
Spyro had a personality in the first game.
No, I'm talking about Sparks.
Oh,
Like,
you're talking about the,
like the secondary characters, yeah. Because like, Sparks didn't talk until Spyro 3, and Aku Aku didn't talk until Crash 3, so it's kind of funny how that works.
At least the Spyro games acknowledge Sparks' existence before the
Yeah.
third game.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Like, Aku Aku was just a floating mask, unless you were playing the Japanese versions, where he did talk earlier.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. It's a very Sparks is a very nice addition because it's like where the fact that he can pick up gems for you is like a massive time saver, and when you don't have him, you just get really impatient because like this thing that you've been like relying on all this time is not there, and picking up all the gems normally is just a lot more tedious. So it's really easy to take that for granted.
It is absolutely paranoia-inducing
Yeah.
when you have to try and get a gem that's like on the very edge of a cliff, and you don't have Sparks with you to pick it up for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sparks is Spyro's buddy.
No,
Is that is very good.
yeah.
Yeah, Spyro's buddy slash meat shield, really.
What
Yeah.
if I told you I preferred all the Crash Bandicoot games after that?
I mean... I mean, if we're gonna go there, I prefer the Crash trilogy overall, but, well, to a point.
Oh, if we're looking at the whole trilogy, the Crash trilogy is just better.
I don't know if I'd say objectively, but... It's
I
kind of.
genuinely think that objectively they are just better games.
I don't know how to feel about that because, like in terms of just gaming media, like objective doesn't really even mean anything. So
Well, it means task at hand.
yeah, it really just depends on the type of game you prefer.
I have to joke one over your head, or you're not paying any attention to me anymore.
I don't know.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, Sparks, companion. He's the companion fairy.
Yep.
He is the health bar, so that's why he has to attack the various defenseless animal creatures to kill, so that their butterfly soul will emerge from them, and Sparks eats the remains. So
Yeah.
It's
enjoy that,
Dragonborn in
children.
reverse, but with sheep. You heard me.
No, I actually didn't hear you. What'd you say?
The Dragonborn in reverse, but with sheep.
Maybe. So yeah, just to provide some further background. If he's golden yellow, he's a healthy fellow. If he's feeling blue, you're down to 2. If he's feeling green, well, you're gonna scream.
Yep.
And yeah, no rhyme for purple, so purple is what Spyro is when he's all alone.
I love how. Oh, if there's one thing I can say about Reignite,
Purple, get ready for the Nurple.
if I can say
There
something
we go.
about Reignite quickly, is that one thing they added to this version is that the you know the light on the DualShock 4,
Yeah.
the color will actually change depending on like what color Sparks is, and that's like one of the coolest things I've seen someone like a developer do with the controller.
I'm going to be entirely honest, that is the only benefit to the DualShock 4. The touchpad was terrible.
Yeah, I've never used that honestly.
It was used in one game as far as I know. And honestly, you would wish that there was a way of changing its usage to... It's basically just a glorified massive start button, that's all I can actually say.
Yeah, that whole color thing with DualShock 4 is why I made that rhyme, because I just saw it on Google Images. Because I couldn't remember what Sparks' color order was. So yeah, Sparks is your buddy, and he'll follow you to hell itself. And
Yeah.
he'll also follow you to the speedways, which are hell.
Yeah, the speedways I think are like there's something that got they're a thing that got easier over time I think with the trilogy, because like Spyro 1 definitely has the hardest ones in terms of just the actual objective, because like they add like an extra feature to them each time, but yeah.
Spyro 1 speedways can kiss every part of my backside.
That's the politest way to say kiss my fucking ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed the change of pace. And I've got they aren't so bad for me now, but they are like quite a bit more difficult than the rest of the game, because I'll just say this now. With some exceptions, the Spyro 1 isn't exactly the hardest game in the world.
If you're just trying to get to Nasty Nork, you will have a pretty breezy time.
Yeah. 100% is a little bit more sketchy sometimes, but even that isn't so bad.
Your
I'd say
big
Spyro 2 has a lot more content than Spyro. Yeah, well, it starts with con. It's not tent and it's not sept.
I mean, the 2 and 3 definitely have a lot more going on than 1. That's for sure.
That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Bless you.
No.
You're gonna be like this all night, aren't you?
No, it's not what I mean. I do not like people saying bless you to me.
Well,
I require your blessings.
say,
Sneezing one way or fucking another.
good health to you, jackass. What was I saying? For Pete's sake, Oh yeah, so beating the game is relatively easy. Trying to get 100% is perhaps a different matter, especially if you have and to get 100 or was it like 120% properly, or at the third game?
I don't remember. Like they all the games have like 100 something percent.
I think Spyro 1 is 102%, and then Spyro 2 was just 100%, and that kind of threw me off when I was playing it.
Oh right, yeah.
And then I think the Year of the Dragon is 120%,
I think.
and it might go up higher if you do all the stuff, like the stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but yeah, this was that era of games where, you know, the percentages was a lie.
Yeah. And I know Donkey
Before
Kong.
the internet, it was weird.
I know Donkey Kong games like to do the extra percent thing a lot.
So yeah, to get 100+%, you needed to, well, find every dragon. There's 80 of them. Get all the gems. There's 12,000, ostensibly. And
Yeah.
find all the dragon eggs. And to get those dragon eggs, you have to chase down the thieves. They are,
No.
only- yeah, they're the only real recurring enemies in the Spyro games.
Yeah.
Aside from, like, the only visually consistent recurring enemies, anyways.
Although the versions, the thieves from Spyro 2 are completely different. And they're only in like a couple levels.
Spyro 2 is its own unique beast in several ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, thieves, absolute pain in the ass to chase down. Hilarious, just as a concept, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, they're just funny to chase. They're annoying but funny to chase down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We don't even know what species they are, and the remake seems to imply that they're like these black mage creatures, so make of that what you will.
Hmm.
Well, black mages were never human.
I suppose.
Vivi from Final Fantasy IX was human to me, Joey.
Just because you humanize a character doesn't make it a human.
Why you gotta do this?
Your hopes and dreams existed. They needed to be crushed. I'm sorry. It's for my own amusement. It's not for your own good. You'd been better off living.
Well then.
We are just on fire tonight.
I can arrange that.
It wouldn't be the worst thing that happened to me this year.
Oh, God. Yeah, this year is just bad.
I mean, first the world ended.
Second, the world ended. Third, the world.
Then the world actually ended.
Anyways, how do you guys want to go about this? Do you want to just quick go through like each homeworld, or
We could do it briefly.
I've only seen the first and last homeworld of Spyro 1. And
Oh, good, then we can get
lost
through
a
this quickly.
memory of the frickin' last homeworld from back before I knew what memories were.
if there's one thing I can touch on before we talk about levels themselves, is briefly about the music, and I think it's one of those things that I think is better when you're playing the game itself, because like right now I can think of like the Artisan's Homeworld theme, and that's about it. Like that's a really strong opening song for when you start the game, but besides that I honestly can't think of what the soundtrack sounds like.
I can think of a few tracks like I mean, his name, Jock's theme, which is, well, technically a remix of the main theme, but it's a very nice remix. Also, Treetops, because screw that level, it is burned into my existence.
I have things to say about. I have things to say about that level, but we'll get to it.
And what is the IT level with the super ramps? I remember the music because it's basically the same theme as Nickelodeon's The Amanda Show, because those had the same composer.
I think it's like Wizard's Peak or something.
Yeah, it's the Amanda Bynes theme.
Yeah, that blew my mind when I heard about that.
Oh well. Credits theme, obviously, because it's carried through the other game.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Artisan's theme, and yeah, I probably will. I haven't played this game in several years, but I can vaguely remember something about one of the Speedway themes.
Mm-hmm.
And Spyro 1's music it's unusual.
It's
Can I
definitely
make a
Getting-
JoJo reference?
sure.
Speedwagon.
It's definitely a different kind. Like the Spyro games definitely have a unique sound to them that just kind of screams Spyro.
Yeah,
not
Insomniac. Go on.
I was gonna say, they're not my favorite soundtracks by any means, but I do like that when I hear them, I can immediately think that they're Spyro. So if Stuart Copeland wanted to make them sound distinct, then he did a good job in that regard.
Yeah, Insomniac got a full-on veteran music guy to do their music.
Yeah.
They got Stuart Copeland, the drummer for the band The Police.
Yeah.
Oh, to be fair then.
It's a very... I mean, would you call it 80s music? It's
I'm not sure.
the guitars...
I'd say label it the music of when the police were most prevalent.
It's very Stuart Copeland. The guitar riffs just kind of...
Rock your world.
They jab a part of my soul. I don't know. What was I gonna say? Like, I prefer Crash's PS1 soundtracks overall, but
Oh yeah, same.
Spyro, as Harry said, Spyro has a recognizable sound to it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Mr. Copeland was nice enough to include a bonus track in levels if you spent too there, so you hear the same exact thing all the time.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
I know that because I suck and couldn't find one last lousy gem. Which does take me to another part of Spyro 1. It's a very vast game.
Yeah.
You may spend a good while looking just for one collectible, and you might hear the distant tingling of the gem, but you don't know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
That can just drive a person mad.
Yeah. I do
Path to destruction from within.
I do think that Spyro is a pretty good introduction to collectathons because of how fast paced it is, and until you get to like the latter half the game, it doesn't ask for too much of the player for the most part, and you probably won't even notice like all the the fact that it's a collectathon at heart because of how much faster paced it is compared to most of those kinds of games, and yeah, most of the time you're just gonna kind of be breezing through stages because most Spyro levels don't go on for like longer than 20 minutes, if even that. Spyro 2 and 3 is a different story.
Excessive over-exaggeration.
Huh?
I think even that might be an excessive over-exaggeration.
That depends on what you're looking for and how much.
Yeah.
Also, hello, Sylph. Good to see you.
Oh, did Soph join in?
Yeah, boy.
Oh, hey, Soph.
Yeah, I played Spyro 1 like a person with a Type A personality. I had to get everything at once, and this game lets you do that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
fairly
appreciate
certain
that.
Spyro 1's supposed to be hard.
No, I was gonna say I appreciate that, the fact that like you're able to do everything on one go, and it's the only game in the trilogy that does it like that.
Yeah, it's great unless you are terrible at this kind of genre of game.
That's fair.
Like
But
me.
but also if you're paradoxically too stubborn just to take a break or go to a different level or move on to the next world because you have enough gems and dragons.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's like a psychological thing where like, you could just move on, but the
I mean,
col-
you could, but you're a bitch.
I mean that too, but you just have like the completionist side, and you just being like, but there's more gems, and that only like I'm off and on when it comes to completing games, but when it comes to like collectathons, I can't finish them if I don't get everything.
Oh dear. And this is the era of games where you actually got like special endings if you got everything. So
Yeah.
I had, even in the age of YouTube, I had an obligation to finish this fully.
Yeah, I feel like part of the reason why the I didn't have too much issues like getting everything is probably due to the fact that I played like other collectathons beforehand, and it's kind of just comes naturally to me at that point.
The closest thing I'd play to a collectathon in a serious for any serious amount of time, aside from Enter the Dragonfly, were some Mario platformers, and outside of those 100 coin star missions, they don't require you to pick up every freaking currency item on the ground to progress.
Yeah, the 3D Mario games are like they're like a base collectathon. Like I barely even consider 64 one. It's only really a collectathon in when you bring in the red coins and 100 coin stars. And yeah, I don't know.
Gexup himself had his own, admittedly pretty accurate description of various 3D platformer subgenres, and I still use that as a basis to this day. Yeah, games like Mario 64 and Vex, he described as what he described them as a mission and collect.
Yeah.
You get a mission, you go, you do it, you get sent out, and you can try again.
Yeah.
Spyro, he described as task and exploration, and that's pretty nail on the head right there.
I suppose.
Pretty accurate is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spyro 1 is the game you play probably... You can play it in short bursts, but if you absolutely must, yes, you can do it in a long session as well.
Yeah, I think it's like if you know what you're doing, you can beat the game in like two sessions. Pretty not necessarily easily, but it's a relatively short game, all things considered. And I feel like if you want to, I feel like it's a game where if you, even if you aren't into collectathons, you might still find some enjoyment out of it. And if you want to see if that's your kind of genre, then I think it's also a good starting point as well.
My advice to you is, well, don't play it like I did. Just go through the levels, find the exit if you find it, I guess.
Yeah.
Get enough dragons and other assorted knickknacks to get to Nasty Nork, and then you can go to a second...
I consider the knick-knack.
Wait, what?
You claim dragons with knick-knacks.
Well, I mean that they're essentially are in Spyro 1. Like they're like a main collectible.
The dragons are primary, but I mean, I said other assorted knickknacks.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
yes, yeah, they're objects to me. They mean nothing to me.
Dragons are people too, except in Skyrim. Then their experience.
So yeah, just go get enough dragons to fight Nasty Nork, and then maybe do a second comb through just to take your time and do this easily.
Yeah, there's no pressure in Spyro. There's no like time limit or anything. You can take it at your own pace.
I mean, except in the speedways.
Well, yeah,
it'll
but
suck though.
yeah, but like, you know.
Oh yeah, by the way, you have to shoot down all the objectives, your targets, and the speedways in one go to get all the gems. So that you do have to do in one go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, basically, for all intents and purposes, yes, you have to do it in one go. You can get the individual groups of targets, but you won't get the remaining gems from if you don't hit them all at once in one go. So
Yeah. It's gonna take a couple of tries on your first run. So do we want to talk about levels individually now?
No.
Well, screw you too then.
I really can't talk about individual levels to that degree of detail.
Well, I think we're just gonna like just kind of go down the homeworld specifically. I think Artisans is a really good first area.
yep. An unusual thing about Spyro 1 compared to its sequels is that you can actually die in the hub worlds. Like,
Yeah.
that was always a little odd to me. Yeah, and Spyro can't swim in this game, so don't try, swimming.
Yeah, you just kind of die immediately. Odyssey is the only one
Whether
that's specifically a collector. Yeah, Odyssey is definitely like is the only Mario game that feels just like specifically like a collectathon, because like the other games have elements of it. I'd say Sunshine more so than the others, but yeah, Odyssey is the only one that feels like it could be compared to like Banjo-Kazooie and whatnot.
So the homeworld. Yeah, Artisans is a nice starter world.
Yeah.
It's a grassy level 1 area.
Yeah.
Screen Hill Zone.
Basically.
Yeah, it's a very nice first area, and also one thing is that we haven't mentioned yet is I don't know if I want to say an issue because this is more due to technology at the time, but a lot of dragon designs are repeated in the original, and there's something that they fixed drastically in Reignited, where every dragon has a distinct design to them, and it kind of makes you excited to see like what the next dragon U3 is gonna look like, and each world has a general theme going on. This was also the case in the original too, but it's more pronounced in the remake, where each world is like Artisans is more creative kind of dragons. Beastmakers is like war, like dragons go into war kind of designs, and you could see that in the original. Like you could tell that that's kind of what they were going for, but they get a lot more creative liberties with the remake, and it's a lot of fun.
Also, the dragons in this universe seem to operate on Digimon logic, where they go from 4-legged to 2-legged upon adulthood.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something else, or?
The next hub. Wait, were you gonna say something, Joey?
No. I'm
Okay,
just
then.
really tired.
We can just do Spyro 1 today if you want.
I say we do Spyro 1 and then do the other Spyros as 1 or 2 additional episodes.
Yeah. Because So I feel like we're not gonna sleep tonight if we keep going.
I'm putting a hard cut off at 3 a.m. If it
Okay.
goes over that, it doesn't matter where we are, we're stopping.
Okay. Why'd I do that?
Oh, the joys of living in the UK.
I know, right? It's almost like we're 5 hours behind you.
Yeah.
Or ahead, or whatever it is.
Yeah, one thing I guess like with the artisans and just Spyro 1 in general is that there's a general like fantasy kind of feeling that I get from Spyro 1's levels that I don't really get from most of Spyro 2 and Spyro 2 and 3's levels. Like there's something inherently more magical feeling about the worlds in the first game, and I don't
It's
know
the friendship.
if you want to be like generic maybe, but like I could never really pinpoint what it was, but there's always something. There was always this feeling I got from the Spyro 1 stages that just weren't there in the sequels. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy, but there's like I feel like there's just more fantastical elements in the first game, if that makes sense.
Probably aided by the fact that the primary inhabitants of these levels are either dragons, fairies, goblin Nork creatures, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, that
There's
might have
no-
something to do with it.
There's like, Hunter, I love him, but it is kind of weird having a cheetah with the fantasy Tolkien creatures.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, a lot to do with it is probably because it's like all dragon themed, whereas the
Sorry. My only retort to all that is, are you saying that Gandalf and Aslan would not be great mates?
They would be absolutely friends.
I have nothing to say on this, so
They would probably be friends. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's like there's very few friendly NPCs in Spyro 1. You've just got really the fairies and the balloonists, and I don't know what species the balloonists are. Like,
yeah, and I don't even have voices in the original.
it's a Spyro 1, like Crash 1 before it, is a pretty lonely game.
Yeah,
Unlike Crash 1 and Spark, well, actually Sparks isn't even acknowledged that much in the first game, but
one dragon says, "Oh, keep an eye on him. He's helping and protecting you," and that's pretty much it.
and that's more exposition than Crash 1 gave for Aku Aku.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just like, "Oogada ba and then he's just kind of there now.
It's just like, sup, fan? I'm the reason you're not dead yet.
Yeah, so Spyro 1 doesn't really have the, well... It's mostly just fantasy creatures as opposed to the vaguely real-world animals that seem to inhabit the world in the other games.
Yeah.
You be dissing sheep, mate.
Oh yeah, I love the fact that this is like, I don't know why we're talking about this now, but I love the fact that in each of the credits in these games there's a "no sheep were harmed in the making of this game" text.
They put that in just for the Welsh.
Yeah.
They were concerned.
It was also no coincidence that they had "no bandicoots were harmed" during the making of this game during Insane Trilogy's credits. Like they knew what they were doing with that.
That's
say-
that's a clever joke.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the fodder aside, and I guess sparks, because I guess dragonflies are real. Most of them don't glow, though. It's just a lot of vaguely fantasy creatures. Like Spyro 2 and Spyro 2 onwards is, I guess, more of a general fantasy kitchen sink.
Spyro 2 and 3, I think, are going for different things. It's not inherently better or worse, but it's just a different type of feeling that they're going for.
See, now, if, like, Hunter and, the Professor and Moneybags have been introduced, like, after Insomnia have been essays about how the introduction of quote-unquote normal animals was where Spyro lost its soul. But they're in the games people like, so no one cares.
Yeah. I mean, I like the new characters as well. And I wouldn't take that... I wouldn't take them away.
I wouldn't take them away either, because, again, Spyro 1 is a lonely game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, even though, like you were saying earlier, Crash 1 feels like a lonely game compared to its successors as well. It's easier to forgive that because it's a corridor platformer, and you aren't really thinking about that too much. Whereas Spyro, you're going through these kind of empty landscapes a lot of the time in the first Spyro game, and it makes the lack of NPCs stick out a lot.
Yeah, it's Spyro 1 is maybe a little too big for its own good at points. It's got quite a few levels.
I feel like if the dragons didn't fly away or whatever, like if they stuck around after you freed them, and you could just go back up to them and say like, "Yo, what's up?" Then I feel like that lonely factor would be negated a good deal. But I don't know how well the PS1 would have been able to take that. So I don't know.
Yeah, what are the dragons doing after they get free? Because Spyro's basically doing everything.
Yeah. So, cool. They get saved and say, "Alright, cool fam, I'm gonna go to the pub now. See ya."
Wouldn't you? Like, you were in stone, you're stretching your goddamn legs, mate. They went for a walk.
Oh, that's brilliant. God damn. I'm getting destroyed.
And the only reason you can't find them is because you're Spyro, you're too young.
Yeah, I like how
You're not bipedal yet.
Yeah. The funny thing is that, like, there's nothing stopping Nasty Knock from freezing the dragons again, and that's actually a plot point at the end of the game, where all the dragons you save in Nasty's lair are dragons you saved before, and again, it goes into that feedback loop where you need to get the dragons back, and you need to stop the villain, because otherwise he's just going to keep doing this over and over again.
Oh yeah, they count, there's 80 dragons, but you don't actually have 80 dragons to save.
Yeah.
You got 79 and that one dude. Again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in the ending, like the true ending, I think, the dragons get turned to crystal again, because apparently Nasty Nor can do this whenever he feels like.
I'm not sure how to feel about the ending. Like, I get that it's meant to be like a funny joke or whatever, but I always feel kind of empty inside after that. It's like, oh really? Like I don't feel wholly satisfied. Like, if that makes any sense.
I can understand that. Do you know what satisfied me though?
What?
Getting all the gems, dragons, and dragon eggs, and then going to Nasty's lair to rob his ass blind.
That is pretty good.
Phrasing.
Going to Nasty's lair to rob him blind.
There was more in that statement than just that.
You know what what you meant.
That's exactly what I was hoping.
Whatever.
Anyways.
Oh yeah, Nasty's loot is what the level is called, and yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. You can, for the first and really only time in the trilogy, you are basically given true free flight.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
It's a really fun thrill, last thrill ride. Do we have anything else to say about artisans, or do we want to move on?
You should.
Next hub world is the military-themed world, and I always remembered it the most when I saw my friend play it back in 2004.
Yeah. I think it's the first world that really displays the strengths of Sparrow's abilities, because the thing about Sparrow is that the fact that he can, glide around makes it so levels can be a lot more open than your typical 3D platformer, and that requires a lot of spatial awareness. Like, you need to know, where you can get to, from what altitude, and, you know, you need to, be able look around in, everywhere, just to make sure you don't miss anything and whatnot, and it's... I mean, I'm not doing the best job of explaining it, but it's...
Doing great.
It's, I think when you go to Beastmakers, that really comes into account, where you have, these platforms way off into the distance, or you have, these big areas that you can get to by gliding, and it has a lot of cool secrets that you can get to by just experimenting with your movement options, and it generally just makes it feel rewarding to explore, and I think the game, I think this first game does it more than the sequels do, and you can argue that sometimes the secrets can be a bit obtuse sometimes with what they expect you to do, but I do, as a general rule of thumb, I do really enjoy how they design the levels, and the way you have to, you know, again, just use your abilities to get everything. You got anything to add, Scrappy, or anyone?
I'm not disagreeing, I just have nothing else to say.
Fair
All
enough.
I'm thinking of is, those enemies in that one level with, what's his name, Shem?
Mm-hmm.
Those screaming maniacs who just come charging at you.
Yeah.
You got 10 minutes left.
God.
You're not going to be able to do everything in depth like you wanted to, so I'd say start wrapping it up.
Well, I was just talking... This is kind of why I prefer just doing, 1 or 2 games in a stream, because otherwise we just feel like we're killing ourselves.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah, I'd say just try and wrap it up. Instead of going in depth on every hub world, try and say just the best parts about the game. And
okay, well, if we're gonna do that, I can skip forward to treetops real quick, because we haven't talked about the it's not the speed boost. What is it called? The supercharge?
Bounce pad.
Yeah, because there's the supercharge that's introduced in World 3, I think, and it gets expanded on throughout the game. And Treetops is the level that's most infamous for the speed boost. and I used to hate it, and there's a part of me that still kind of finds it irritating, and I get why people hate it, but I also kind of like it at the same time, just for the fact that it's the most you're gonna get out of the supercharge, and it's kind of fun, like jumping from great distances to these other areas to get to the dragons. It probably could have been like handled better in execution, and it's a bit too obtuse for its own good sometimes. But the idea itself, I think, was a good one, and you know, going from treetop to treetop, it's just inherently satisfying, and you know, it's an interesting level for sure. I know you like you have a lot of resentment for the stage, so do you want to say something about it, Scrappy?
Thrilling commentary.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well,
I believe it would be beneficial to have a negative opinion right after the highly positive opinion. Well,
yeah, because again, I understand why people don't like it, and it is an annoying stage when it comes down to it.
That music is haunting me right now.
Well, if you can like just elaborate, like
echo in your mind.
why don't you like it? I guess is a good way to say it.
Because the supercharge is a pain in the ass when you're trying to get every single gem.
That's fair.
If you just get into the exit, it's fine. I just don't want to deal with the rest.
Yeah, that's fair.
The level's fine. I just hate the level.
Can you get... I guess what we can just do quickly is just... What are some standout levels you can think of?
Well, Treetop stands out for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
As does Wizard's Peak. As does Wizard's Peak, if only for the music, but I do recall liking the actual design and whatnot. The boss levels, when not actually focused on the bosses, are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Jacques' level is pretty much where I consider the game to have a sudden upswing after days of fatigue playing it for me. The last batch of levels in Nasty's world is actually, I'd actually say, is pretty good.
Yeah.
Notably more linear than the other levels, which I thought was interesting. Like that one military level where you're just ramming metal barrels for some reason.
Oh, yeah, I love ramming metal barrels.
And so does Spyro.
Yep.
It's a fun level and really weird. Just like a Let's Player kind of lampshaded this, but it's an interesting take on the final world trope. Instead of being like Mordor, it's just an actual war zone.
Yeah. It's also based on a Pearl Harbor attack.
For some reason in this random fantasy game.
Yeah, I don't like... Oof, like, I don't know why they decided to do that, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there's Titanic levels in other games.
True, true.
Titanic was an incident, was just an unfortunate incident. The other is horrific war.
Yeah.
To be fair, yeah, one is a war crime.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
was
this,
it-
kids, is why Spyro's not popular in Japan.
Yeah, like the American commercials were like made Spyro a lot more bratty, I guess, and more like had more of an attitude. Whereas like Japan, I don't know what they did with the Japan ones like overall, but I know they made him more cutesy.
It's sounds about on what, excuse me, it sounds like what they did with Crash Bandicoot, but Crash Bandicoot, I guess, found more success for various reasons.
Crash Bandicoot.
Ash Candy Root.
So, yeah, the last batch of levels I enjoy a lot. Nasty's loot, just for the feeling of robbing a man. That is cathartic. And, yeah, I haven't played the game in about 8 years, so...
Yeah, I do really like the last bunch, couple of levels, just for the fact that it feels like just a general, like, final gauntlet before the final boss.
Yeah, final boss sucks, though.
It's a chase level, like, where you're the one doing the chasing instead. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's not even a short chase level like in Crash 2.
Yeah. Oh man. Like, again, the bosses are probably the weakest part. Oh god.
Yeah.
No, I don't have too much. I don't have too much else to say. I can feel my throat starting to get sore from talking so much. But yeah, if there's one thing I can just say in general about Spyro 1 is that again with the whole spatial awareness thing, there's that, and there's the fact that it doesn't really waste your time. Like we said, you can beat most of the game on... You can beat like a level in your first run. You don't have to do revisits or anything. And it's a game that's just really quick and easy to sit down and just play through. And that is partially why I rank it myself over Spyro 2. There are other reasons that I'll get to when we talk about it. But it's just a really simple game that's like getting the collectibles is satisfying. There's the whole feedback loop, and while the bosses themselves suck, I can enjoy the levels they're in at the very least, and you don't stay in one level for too long, so you're pretty consistently going to new levels, and you don't stick around in one place for too long, and that's appreciated for a game like this, because again, collectathons, you expect to be in a level for upwards to about an hour, so it's a nice change of pace. And before I let either of you say your piece, there's one thing else I can say about the fact of its simplicity. It could also be a downside depending on what kind of player you are. Like, if you someone that wants more of a lively world, or one that needs more than just collecting things, then Spyro 1 probably won't be the type of game for you. So it's a give and take kind of thing. That's basically my piece.
Scrappy.
Pardon me. Spyro 1 is a very grand, noble first effort, and I would probably enjoy it more playing it a second time now, because, you know, I know what to do, and I wouldn't be playing through every level start to finish like a crazy person. Would probably still be motion sick, because these games just do not agree with me well, and I probably have less impulse control now than I did in 2012. So it's a very, as I said, sister series to Crash Bandicoot, and as such, it is the peanut butter to Crash's chocolates.
An interesting way to say it.
One is streamlined and very linear, some would say claustrophobic. The other is open and emphasizes more exploration and eventually mini games over like getting from point A to point B.
And I'd say through through all of our childhoods, all we ever really wanted was to smack it all together and turn it into a Snickers sandwich.
And that happened on a Game Boy Advance in the year 2004, and it was something.
It happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to talk about that, but...
Oh no, there were two other times, which we can quickly mention. First of all, there was the reference in Twinsanity.
I think he might want his gems back.
And then there was a McDonald's promotional event.
Oh god. I didn't even know that.
Good times. Yeah. Spyro's in the Game Boy Advance version of Nitro Kart, which is the reason why he's in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
That is pretty cool.
And a frozen Crash is found in The Legend of Spyro the Eternal Night.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
He's using his older design despite the fact that it's the same year as Crash of the Titans, so that's a bit interesting. And I think Spyro cameos in a Crash game later down the line, and of course Skylanders has both of them interacting. And yeah, that's their weird crossover history.
To our knowledge without researching it. Well, I'll just finish off then, if that's okay.
Did Scrappy have anything else to say about Spyro 1, or is that...
I think I'm good. Let's
We're also kind of out of time. So
Yeah, so just go. Yeah, just go.
I mean, fair is fair and all, but we need to stop. Right, so, thank you for watching the...
Oh, did you not have anything to, like, your final
Oh, you
thoughts?
actually... You care for my thoughts? Sorry.
I mean, we both did.
Alright. So, sorry. My final thoughts on Spyro 1 before we cut the podcast for the night, because it's 3 in the goddamn morning.
Yeah.
Spyro 1 is not a game that I've played much of. It was probably very indirectly responsible for how I turned out growing up because of my brother. I know there's a strong speedrunning community for it, and for good reason. And, I won't say it's a bad game, I'll just say it's not the kind of game that I can get into.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Spyro 3 was always my the Spyro game that I actually liked.
Right.
And then I thought the future games were interesting. The second timeline.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I would recommend giving them a go, however, I know personally they're not my cup of tea. At least the first two.
Okay.
The second one is a lot closer, and then the third one's like pinnacle. That's a great game. Alright, so wrapping up.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Alright. Thank you for watching the Brain Block podcast. We hope to see you next time. Please watch our other content. We got Scrappy's Book Club. We've got and I need to record more episodes of it. The
Seize one-offs.
Seize Brain One-Offs, that's what it's called. Thank you.
And then there's the online session
There's
things.
the Casual Fridays.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if we missed an episode of, or that should be next week on whatever our current time scale is.
Yeah.
On Friday, and then there's also our main content, but that is under production at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got work to do for our non-existent main content.
And I think the story provided people...
Story time for Scrappy is most Mondays.
Yeah, and provided we get everyone on board, it should be tomorrow, if that's correct.
Yes. Well, today, as of the time
Yeah.
I'm uploading this.
Yeah. But yeah.
So watch that on Twitch.
Mhm.
Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out, my
dudes.
comrades.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. I'm assuming, are we just gonna do Spyro
Alright.
2 next, or are we gonna do something else?
We can do Spyro 2, we can look into doing Crash Bandicoot, or we could do Jak and Daxter, because I'm pretty sure we got more people here who have played Jak and Daxter than Ratchet and Clank, although
Yeah.
I would like personally to do Ratchet.
I mean, that would give me an excuse to play the trilogy. I wouldn't like, What would you prefer doing, Scrappy? Do you want us to, do you think we should just get the Spyro trilogy out and over with, or, do you want some variety?
I want some.
May as well. Excuse me. I thought we could.
I'm getting tracked.
Oh, my voice is messed up. I thought we could maybe just keep the momentum up and just get through Spyro 2 and 3. I think while the sequels are more advanced mechanically, the majority of the stuff in trilogy is laid down in Spyro 1. So in theory, maybe we have less to talk about and we can get through it quicker.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the general mechanics and whatnot already.
And we actually do need to start at midnight GMT, because otherwise we end up with this problem where we have to cut it off because it's gone on too long.
Yeah, because I feel like we could do both 2 and 3 in one session, but that depends on, like, A, how much we have to say, and B, when we start.
I was actually kind of ready at 7 o'clock p.m. my time, but no one was there.
Yeah, we probably should have started earlier in hindsight.
Yeah.
Because I was,
Like,
yeah.
Originally the plan was to start these at 11 PM, because that was like the earliest that Scrappy could come on that was convenient for him.
Yeah.
But like, the sooner the better, usually.
Yeah. So, is it like 2 weeks from now we'll do Spyro 2?
Unless you really want to do it next week, but then we risk burnout.
Yeah, yeah, because next week is the online thing, right?
Next Friday is online sessions and whatever else.
Right.
I'm gonna record one-offs for Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Jak and Daxter, and Ratchet and Clank, but I'm only gonna do the first of each series.
Okay.
And I'll probably do that tomorrow.
Alright.
Okay, so I'll chat to you guys eventually.
Alright. Oh my god, this guy's destroying me.
Yeah, we all need to fix our sleeping things, because... Time zones are one thing.
Yeah.
This is something else.
Alright. Do you need me to get the episode up, by the way, or can you do that?
I can do that. Yeah.
Alright.
It was only those legacy ones because I didn't realize the thing. I almost lost another episode at that time as well. But yeah, that's basically just a case of clicking a button.
Right.
Actually, I'll fucking do that now. Right,
Fair enough.
and then I can drag it off of C's Brain Raw's channel tomorrow. But for now, I just want to shut down. I scrapped the Battlefield 1 runoff because of the shit. Random slash is uploaded. If I click download, will that actually work, or will it just say preparing for the next lifetime? Because if it just does that, then it's not working today. Export. Private. Split into 15-minute segments. Fuck off. Alright. That should be going up. I'm fucking off. Also, I'm sorry for how I've been.
It's okay.
I hope I hope you can. I hope things turn out better for you soon, Joey.
Yep.
I'm sorry for taking so long. I've not been feeling as well as I could be these past few days.
It's understandable.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Everything's fucked for everyone.
Pretty much.
Yeah, my diet has been.
Your diet
Sorry, go on.
Nice. I just unfortunately do happen to have a lot more fucked than most people, and yet there are still people in my sphere of knowledge that are somehow more fucked than me. Something, their daughter died.
Oh wow. Oh god.
I'm my condolences. Yeah, it puts things into perspective. Like, my problems are non-existent compared to that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's a... Oh wow.
Well, Joe, I hope you can get some rest very soon and get the ball rolling to get things sorted out.
Yeah.
All I can say is at least one part of Operation Long Game is going well. Everything else got postponed to next year because it's just absolutely impossible to run off. But one thing is working. One thing is moving forward. And that's the thing I'm gripping onto.
Yeah.
Left of my will to live.
I'm an idiot, so please inform me what exactly is that if you can.
Benefit thing.
Good for you.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the best you're gonna get an explanation from me, but that's
Fair enough.
happening. As much as trying to do it frickin' fucks me in the head in its own right, at least it's happening, and I kind of need the thing to happen. Because I've got work fucking me about left, right, and centre. I've got myself fucking me about left, right, and centre without the fucking. I've got the problem. I've got the rocky shit happening with Azzy at the moment.
Sorry to hear that.
Our relationship is actually fine. It's just we've got so many problems on our own ends, and we can't help each other. We're just. We just removed being in a relationship from adding to those problems potentially.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Fair enough.
Which also means we've got to re-propose to her next year.
Yeah, to be fair, 2020 will just be a write-off.
2020 is a fucking load of shit. And it's
Yeah.
I actually wanted to sort out my fucking life.
Yeah, I was like, going into this year, I was like, oh, this is the year where I'm actually gonna try and, like, do something. And then it's the planet was just like, lol, no, screw you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Seaspring sorted out. Like, I'm gonna assume this is what Harry was thinking.
It was like, my mindset was...
I'm gonna sort everything else out in my life. Things go well enough, I might even get a female to take interest in me.
I mean,
you can still do that this year. I can introduce you to some friends, Harry.
I mean,
relationships do not work. Well, maybe. Look, Scrappy, if you can introduce Harry to literally anyone, I would definitely recommend that. He needs someone in his life.
I mean,
if he wants me to, I could try.
I didn't realize. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what kinds of people you talk to outside of Seasprain, so I'm not sure.
Technically, I've flustered Harry now.
I mean, I wouldn't be completely opposed to it, but it's like it's not gonna be one of those things where like I just meet a random girl and I'm just like, yo, you wanna go out? It's like, bro, I don't know you.
Since we're all bearing our souls to each other tonight, and I'm just gonna pretend you two are drunk, which is the only way I would confess any of this.
I was drinking. It's fine.
All right. Yeah. I thought that I could I thought that once I graduated, I could finally ask someone out, but then hell broke loose.
Mm.
So yeah, I've made it a bit of a mission statement. Provided she's not already spoken for, and provided I'm not dead from this, I will try to ask one of my friends out.
Okay, I hope that goes well for you. Also, I gotta say this just so we're careful of what we say. I'm still streaming on my side, so.
Oh fuck.
Oh well then. I love you all, people. Puppies are good.
Oh fuck.
Rainbows are good.
I don't actually want to be out there.
So
I just confessed some stuff on the internet. Okay.
This is
All right, cool.
I'd like to have known prior, Harry.
I assumed you guys would have known because I haven't stopped yet.
It's fine, no one watches your content anyway.
Except Sylph. Sylph's gonna be a tattletale.
No, Sylph.
I'm joking, we love you.
Oh man, I'm very glad I didn't say anyone's name.
Yeah, that could have been bad.
Hi, sweetie. How are you doing?
Oh god, this is gonna be awkward if she sees this now.
I don't think she even knows my internet username, so lucky me.
That's
I'm
good.
glad I don't exist sometimes.
He got the prime material now. In all seriousness, though, without going into specifics, I wouldn't mind talking about that at some point with you, Scrappy, if you genuinely have people that.
We're not streaming.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, like, at some point, if we can just like have like a one-on-one talk, and like just I don't know, because that would be something interesting to talk about, and I'd like.
You just not have such a fire conversation, so I can justify fucking off about.
No, I mean, you can go. You don't need to stay.
Joe, you can screw off whenever you feel like. You are the master of your own destiny.
I'm the master of most people's destinies, and they don't even realize it.
Oh yeah, you're an essential worker. You can literally spit in all of our food, and we wouldn't know.
Oh god.
Wrong field. I could just not do my job and make you have to swim through your own filth.
In today's society, we're all swimming in filth.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I'm doing my job.
It is one thing I've learned from 2020. Human beings are disgusting creatures.
Yeah. Oh god. I'm gonna die.
Fuck humanity, just genuine. I don't associate half the people I know as human, because human is just a fucking horrible thing to call someone these days.
Oh god.
Oh gosh, I'm getting shades of Sword Online Abridged Kirito right now, and can't lie, I'm enjoying this.
I
I'm so dead inside. Look at my 2 swords and my epic black coat that I got from saying that I'm a cheater when actually I'm just fucking better than you.
I really ought to watch SAO abridged one of these days.
I just went through the whole
It's good shit.
series. I went through the whole series this week, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh god.
Somehow Klein is like the only. Klein is somehow less of a screw than everyone else in this show, and that's just inherently funny.
Huh.
Oh gosh, I see. I already complained about Klein not showing up enough in the real show, but now in the abridged series, I really want to show up.
Also, Kirito is just like a 13-year-old going through puberty, screaming loudly at things and hitting everything instead of using what little of a brain he had.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh,
He's like,
God.
wow, look at all these hot girls I'm surrounded by. Why?
Oh. Yeah, I can't unhear a bridge character's voice now. That's no disrespect to Bryce Papenbrook, that a bridge voice is just so good.
Oh my god, Abridged is amazing. Are they doing a season 2 Abridged? Because that would be fucking awesome.
Well, they consider their season 2 is Alfheim, and they're in the midst of doing it right now.
Okay.
Ah, right. Oh yeah, because they only did Sword Art. I need to catch up then. But
Yeah,
now
there's
the conversation isn't important, I'm gonna fuck off.
Yeah.
Have a very good night, Joey, and I bid you adieu, and I will keep your sneezing courtesy into consideration. I'm serious.
See ya.
Good night.
Alright.
And then there were 2.
And then there were 2 indeed.
So anyway, my girlfriend's name is... my girlfriend's name is Imaginary, because that's what she is.
I don't know how to word this without like, it's hard for me to like word this stuff like on camera because I need to be careful with what I say, but
Help me meet hot singles. Yeah, well, we'll discuss this in private.
Can you, like, the people you, like, is there a way for you to describe your, your friends' personalities without, like, saying names or anything?
They are saints because they tolerate me in real life.
Huh. That's brilliant.
Oh, gosh. I love my... I'll say I love my female friends. I love them a lot.
That's nice. I've had like some female friends in the past, and I mean, I still do. And no, I'll be honest, I've had pretty big crushes on a few of them. I'm not gonna name
I miss
names.
my friends from college.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name names, but. And no, it's not Maddie. Just to clear that up immediately.
Wait, Maddie went to school with you?
No, I just meant female friends in general.
Yeah, Maddie's just gonna listen to this stream and just be cursing us endlessly.
Oh god.
Hi, Maddie. I hope she's doing alright.
Yeah, I hope Maddie's doing well. She's not in a good position at the moment. Like I don't think of Maddie in like that way, but she's a good person. don't know why I'm still going, honestly. Like, is there anything you want to talk about while we're here?
It's not like we have any Smash news to talk about.
Yeah, we're in the dry season right now.
Yeah, I had a dream that this is the weirdest. This is a weird dream, but not the worst dream I had today. I dreamed that the ARMS character was revealed, and it was no one any of us recognized. Sylph says, "Do you all think the ARMS character reveal is still going to happen next month?" Yes, I do believe that.
I would hope
Sakurai-
so.
Sakurai said that that DLC number 6, really DLC number 7 from Plant, is on schedule for June. So
Okay. Yeah, I'd expect it. Maybe mid June.
yeah, Byleth dropped 4 months ago. If they were behind the character right after them, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah. Funny thing about Weird Dreams though is that I had a really strange dream about the DLC character. Where we got the ARMS character. Not even my dream knew who it was. But besides that, after that, we just got a new character announcement, and then for no freaking reason, it's just Donald Duck. I was just so confused, and like
Donald Duck, but no Sora.
yeah, it's just Donald for no reason whatsoever, and I remember just being like going on like a car ride somewhere, and I could not think about anything besides just Donald, and I was just so confused the entire dream. It's like, what is going on?
Donald Duck goes quackers. Sylph says, imagine the reaction to that. I can't lie, that's not... I mean, I'd main him.
I would. I don't even know. Like I would just. If I saw that actually happen, I would just be like, "How is this a thing?" And then, like after like 5 seconds, probably just start dying of laughter for the fact that 1, it's a thing, and 2, I subconsciously called it.
I mean, I would be fine with that in a really twisted sort of way.
It would be
Like,
fun.
could Scrooge be a Zeko fighter? Because I think that could be funny.
Yeah, probably.
Like, just give Donald Scrooge's pogo moves, and then you've got half a moveset already.
Yeah. The final smash would just be him going berserk.
That's what I'm saying. Donald would be, like, hilariously OP. Like, I think I'd rather have him than Mickey. This is...
Yeah, I would too, actually.
I have to ponder this for a moment.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I actually like Donald a lot more than Mickey.
It's the curse, and I say with air quotes, of being protagonist.
Yeah.
It's like why people seem to like everyone other than Springman, and I feel bad for Springman.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, my dream is an ARMS character that does not actually exist. It was like some kind of giant tanuki with a Bowser shell,
Oh.
and also it had like a backpack pouch holding 2 baby tanukis, and I guess it had the stretchy arms, but didn't have the eye the ARMS characters have.
That's interesting.
And I promise you, I don't do drugs, but this makes me wonder sometimes. That's not even the weird part. The weird part is Donkey Kong Jr. and Geno are there, and they're Echo Fighters for Donkey Kong and Mii Gunner.
Ha.
But the Mii Fighters aren't unlocked on the character select screen, so it's just throwing me off like, this is fake, and I know it, but...
That's bizarre.
Like, it's like as if I were in a simulation, and the lack of Mii Fighters was the clue that this was all fake.
Yeah.
And it's not even the worst dream I had today, so... Food for thought for me.
Yeah, my dreams are either just nothing or just or well, they're three things actually. They're either just absolutely nothing that I just forget immediately, or they're really crazy, but to the point that like I can remember what happened in them, and then I have like more calm dreams, I guess, that are like more down to earth, I suppose you could say.
I don't get calm dreams anymore.
I can't control what type of dream I get. It just whatever my brain wants to, whatever my brain ends up conjuring up, that's what I get, I guess.
I hate when I wake up before the ending of my dream storyline sometimes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Still, I feel that.
God, I can't tell you.
had
Oh, go ahead.
I had a really weird Smash stream like 2 years ago, and that was surreal. It felt real, but it was so horrifically fake. But also, it predicted Banjo, so I guess it wasn't completely fake.
That's cool.
Conquer was also there, but
Oh wow.
yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Isn't it a bit too early in the morning to be talking about Gothic architecture?
I hate when I wake up and the ending of a dream. I hate when I wake up before the ending of my dream storyline. I wish some of my dreams would end earlier, because sometimes I need to pee.
Yeah.
I can't wake up.
Yeah, that annoys me too, and like sometimes I'm in a dream, I'm like it becomes a plot point in the dream. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's relevant to what was happening before, but I just end up needing to use the bathroom inside the dream itself, but I can never actually get to the bathroom, so it just kind of feels like hell. Because like, my dream self needs to use it, and my real life self needs it, but I'm like unconscious, so I can't exactly just will myself awake immediately like that.
And sometimes I'm half conscious and have to like try and punch my leg just to force myself up.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Like, what's that phenomenon? Sleep paralysis? It's not what I'm describing, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever suffered real sleep paralysis, but this is the closest thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'm surprised I've actually met some of I'm surprised someone besides me has this issue, because I feel like no one else has talked about this before.
It's not something I enjoy.
Nah, of course not. Although I do enjoy like finishing dreams, and when I wake up from something and I can't remember where I were in a dream, I kind of get frustrated because I want to know like how it was supposed to end. And if there's one thing I can say about dreams, is that I've had a lot of dreams where I end up finding like a girlfriend or something, and we end up having like a really good life together and whatnot. And then when I wake up, I'm just sad because it felt like it's one of those things that just felt so real, and it just wasn't, and then I just kind of get sad for like an hour.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It doesn't happen often, but it's like it's happened enough times at this point where I've started to kind of notice it a bit more.
Yeah, I'm no psychiatrist, but
Like,
yeah, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't actually evaluate this at all.
but Like mm, I mean, I gotta, I gotta be like honest here. Like, I don't talk about it that much, but I have alluded to it in the past that I do like actually want a partner in my life, and I feel like subconsciously I kind of need that more than I realize. I don't know. Because I do say that I'm generally fine being alone, and to a point that's true, but at the same time, I kinda want someone else, like, to, you know, it would be nice to have someone to call my own. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. See, I don't want to humor this because that would have some horrific implications for what I subconsciously dream about. Oh gosh, I've had some very. I just don't like dreaming anymore.
The thing is with my dreams too is that the girls I end up meeting are like people I've never even seen before in my life, which makes it even weirder. And I don't like I cannot tell you for the life of me what they look like offhand, but I know specifically that they weren't anyone that I knew beforehand. And like I don't know what to think about that.
Maybe time will tell.
I suppose. Oh boy.
When did this game come out?
Oh, this game I'm playing now?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. It's Puyo Puyo Fever 2. I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm getting destroyed.
This is stress-inducing.
I'll give it one more try. If I lose, I'm just gonna stop. And
It looks like Dreamcast or Saturn error to me. Based on the art style, and yeah, I don't know how I'm the guy who knows this. This looks like post Dreamcast era Sega.
Yeah,
when Compile is that the company that did it? This is when Sega basically bought the IP themselves.
Yeah, pretty much. This is when Sonic Team took over. This game, well, the first Fever came out was on GameCube. So this is like 6th gen. This is like DS, PS2, I think.
So I guess it's technically Dreamcast era.
In a sense, because I mean, like they counted the Sonic Heroes as a Dreamcast era game in gens.
It's a Dreamcast era game in spirit.
Yeah. Oh, what am I doing? Okay.
Like, the art looks new, but the Puyos themselves look like older sprite.
Oh, I won. Nice. Yeah, well, I think this is the DS version, so like the Puyo.
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't know it was a DS game.
Yeah, so like the Puyo sprites are a lot more condensed, I guess. I don't know.
Oh man, I thought this was a PS2 game.
I mean, there is there is a PS2 version, but PlayStation emulators are just complete hell to work with, so I just didn't bother with that.
Oh, hey, Arl, I've been wondering where you were.
Yeah. um. I'll give this one. I'll give this one honest effort. If I lose, then I'll stop playing. You got any last minute conversations?
Kids, don't Google carbuncle on don't Google the word carbuncle
Oh yeah.
by itself.
Yeah, don't. Make sure you put like carbuncle Puyo Puyo, because otherwise you're gonna find something else.
And no, it's not Rule 34, but after you see it, you might wish it was.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's disturbing. Alright. When did you, oh, actually, well, I guess, I don't know if, So, since we're doing, book club tomorrow, I don't know when you'll wanna do Melee, because I don't wanna, like, end up burning you out, but would there be a time?
We can try Tuesday. I think I should be alright.
Okay.
I have to confess something. I haven't read a chapter yet. I'm gonna do that later tonight.
It would be interesting if, like, you did that blind, but, yeah.
I trust your judgment that the story is good, but I think after the Cinema Sins story, I think it would be in my best interest to at least give it a preliminary read, just so I know what I'm in for.
Well, the thing with that is that I didn't even know what we were getting into either. We just did that because it was sent to us, and we felt like we should just give it a read just because someone gave it to us. This one I've actually sat down and read through beforehand, and it's I'm about 6 chapters in so far, and it's actually really, really good.
I will give a preliminary skim just so I can at least pretend that I can speak the words properly.
Yeah.
I can read text like a big boy.
I don't know why I'm doing this again. I said I was gonna stop.
Puyo looks like a literal addiction.
It kind of is.
I wouldn't mind Arl for Smash, honestly. I feel like we haven't really... Sega has 3 reps, but I feel like we could get a few more.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I feel like we need, like, a real, puzzle game character for a roster spot, because Dr. Mario, I feel like that barely counts, because he is a puzzle game character, but what doesn't make it work for me is that the fact that he's based on Mario's moveset anyway, and doesn't really use puzzle game elements in his moveset at all. And I feel like that's something that would be very unique to a Smash character that just isn't represented yet.
And then Arl gets in as a semi-clone of Robin.
Oh. How did I win that?
With the power of friendship. Tetris piece for Smash.
Tetris piece.
I would be okay with that just being like an item that you just pick up and throw at someone. Like, not even playing it like Tetris, it's just a big block you toss at someone.
Yeah.
If the actual gameplay of Tetris wasn't such a hazard, I wouldn't mind a stage, but like, that sounds literally hellish.
Wasn't there supposed to be like a Dr. Mario stage in Smash 4 at one point?
That's been rumored at least. I don't know if it was data mined or anything. I wouldn't be surprised. in hindsight, I feel like we did not appreciate Smash 3DS and we used stage selection when we could.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I liked Smash 4's stage selection more than most people, but yeah.
Like after Ultimate having to, understandably go for a smaller pool, it's just kind of nice to go back to Smash 3DS and Wii U having very big pools of new stages for the IPs.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I was... it's understandably lacking in Ultimate, that there's not as many new stages, but part of me was still, like, kind of upset that, I don't know, I was hoping... Part of me was kind of hoping for a few more. I don't know.
If it weren't for Byleth, we would have had more third-party stages than first-party stages by the time Third Pass 1 ended.
Hey, if we get Bandana D, we'll probably get a modern Kirby stage. That'll be cool.
You're getting Megaton Punch and you're gonna like it.
How would that even... actually, yeah, they could totally do that. That would be such a boring stage, though.
3DS has some really nice stages, but Wii U's weren't quite as good in my opinion. That's the general. I think that's the general consensus among everyone. But
yeah, I mean that's. I liked a lot of the Smash 3DS ones, though. I like some standout ones in Wii U, like Jungle Hijinks. What is it?
We lost. And what the Orbital Gate Assault?
Yeah, Orbital Gate Assault. I think that casually, specifically, like competitively, like that stage is horrible. But like in terms of just casually and just having some fun, that's probably my favorite Star Fox stage.
And Gus, what two stages got lost in the transition?
Yeah, that and Woody World, which I think is a really good one.
Oh man, I feel like I think people in general are probably warmer to the Wii U stages now that we have an actual stage hazard toggle.
Yeah.
I didn't play Smash Wii U enough, honestly. I'm trying to think of this.
My playtime on Smash Wii U was something over 1,000 hours. So.
Oh gosh, the game is good. It just came at a bad time for me. I feel like I didn't give my Wii U enough love when I had it. I didn't ever finish New Mario U. Oh
man, that's partially like why I'm doing the Smash series. Like, I don't know if you call it a retrospective, whatever it is. Like, part of the reason for it is I wanted to experience what these games all have, and like just kind of experience them again to their full degree.
That's fair.
And it's been a fun ride so far. I'm definitely interested for when we get to the Smash 4 games, I suppose, because that's gonna be a very long one. That's for sure.
Yeah, have fun unlocking Bowser Jr. twice. No, wait, Bowser Jr.'s default in Wii U. Have fun unlocking Duck Hunt twice.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I've enjoyed looking at Melee again, and I do find it amusing that we kind of just had a consensus. Daisy's great. This ult for her, that's Peach's ult, is great.
It's kind of funny because I've used Peach twice so far, but I haven't actually talked about I haven't actually talked about her that much, like moveset wise, that much yet.
I take Peach for granted in Smash Brothers. It's just how it's always been, but
yeah.
It was kind of a bit of a revelation to have her in Zelda playable back then.
Mm-hmm.
And Zelda has a moveset that's just kind of its own beast.
Yeah, okay, that was pathetic.
Can't lie, I kind of miss Sakurai when he could just pull stuff out his ass. I don't think he would think of it like that, but he would not, but I do kind of miss the less one-to-one movesets at times.
Yeah.
what inspired Sheik's moveset? Because she does not fight in Ocarina of Time.
I think. I mean, I think it's just like she's a ninja, so it's just let's just make like ninjas are quick and like they do quick chip damage basically. So let's make Sheik that kind of playstyle, because like she doesn't fight at all in an Ocarina of Time, so there's probably just let's just make something up that's kind of ninja-esque and work from there, I guess.
Yeah, Zelda fans got they got the feast in Melee.
Yeah, and they haven't had it since then, unfortunately. I gotta be honest, I think out of all the series that have already been represented, I think Zelda is probably the one I most want a new character for.
It'd be nice. I'm not sure who they'd pick. I can think of characters they could pick. I just don't know who they would pick.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, I'd pick Lana, but I know that's probably not gonna happen.
I mean, maybe. I mean, we got Tecmo content in the game already. Hyrule Warriors is on Switch if we're gonna play the promotion card.
That is true. I just don't want Lana to be stuck to a spin-off game that, the whole her entire life.
She truly is the Geno of Zelda characters.
Yeah, after this attempt, I'm gonna stop because I need to stop. I need to stop doing more of this.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. Sylph, you were mentioning about Arm's character in June. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a done deal. And I don't know who it's gonna be. I think Springman will be featured in some way, either as default by himself or default with alts or alt of someone else. Look, I just don't want him getting left behind.
Yeah. It'd be really crazy if the mascot of the game doesn't actually become the character.
It's a friggin' free-for-all afterwards if that happens.
Yep.
See, this isn't the problem with Zelda. They already got their 3 main characters, so
Yeah.
in theory, they felt if the team felt like they could just pick whoever at this point,
Yeah.
or they could pick Tingle because he's headlining his own games too. Tingle can represent his own series. Honestly, he has at least 3 games.
Yeah, that's true. That would be funny if Tingle got in, but I wouldn't want that before some other Zelda characters. I wouldn't mind Tingle as a bonus.
What if Tingle was the actual bonus of Smash Ultimate instead of Piranha Plant? That would be hilarious.
I feel that would definitely be interesting. I probably would have preferred that in hindsight.
That would have gotten very bloody very fast.
Oh, it would, but Tingle I think is more inherently interesting than Piranha Plant. So I guess, is this the final stage?
What was I gonna say? So yeah, I guess I think we're getting someone with arms, and they will punch with those arms.
Yeah, I guess since we're in a new
the
stage,
people will be salty regardless.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And maybe if we're good children, we'll get a tease for the next character.
Yeah.
Honestly, I should really be enjoying being in the dark for a while. Like, this is nice. No one knows None of the fake rumor people know who the ARMS character is, so they can't make fake leaks.
I'm so tired of fake leaks at this point. Like, I just want to see what the characters are.
Oh dear.
Cause like we always like the same names are always brought up, and it's come to a point where it's like I just want to see it. Oh, this would be great if I get this on my first try, but I doubt it. Oh, I did. Okay.
Well then.
Is that the end of this? I can't actually read this text, so I'm just that's why I'm skipping over it.
This game is a cluster frenzy.
Get item. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. Yeah, okay, we we beat
Yeah, that's actually the game over screen, you just didn't know.
Well, I wasn't actually expecting to do all that. I do know that I think Amity and Sig have their own stories, but I'm gonna end up doing those in another stream.
Yuji Naka, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Oh yeah. Well, glad I managed all that. That was surprising.
Wait, why are the credits in English?
I don't know, to be honest. Can I skip this actually? Oh, I can.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, so we're about a month out from the reveal of Salt, my favorite character. And, yeah, me costumes, good luck with that. They're probably going to kill something I love, because of course they will.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Even the spirit events have been kind of drying up lately. Spirit events with, like, new spirits.
Yeah.
Like, I used to wait every other week in terror of what franchise would get taken out back.
Okay, let's just make sure that's saved correctly.
I'm also happy to get an ARMS character, even though I don't play ARMS or games in general.
Yeah. I'm not too... I mean... I'm happy that ARMS ended up getting, like, an actual fighter rep. I'm not particularly... I'm not like a massive fan of ARMS or anything, but I am happy that it got a character. And
People kept on demanding new worlds and new IPs. Well, turns out Nintendo does have stuff that they can use.
yeah. I'm still gonna clamor for like Rayman and Crash, etc. But you know.
I have no idea.
Oh, this is like, gonna be like great Inception.
I am cynical enough to believe that Crash only one of those can get in with this path.
Yeah,
He would not be so lucky to get both.
If I had to pick, I would honestly choose Rayman, but I feel like Crash has the better shot.
That's a weird thing to say because Ubisoft seems to be closer with Nintendo than Activision in general.
Yeah, it could go either way. I guess we'll see.
Smash Bros. Is an odd beast. Like, Nintendo can have questionable relations with third parties in general. Sakurai seems to be able to get the pull, or I don't know. Sakurai is not choosing characters. I keep on forgetting. Even if the third-party company doesn't really put their games on Switch, Nintendo doesn't seem to have any issues of getting the character in. Like, if Nintendo wants Commander Shepard from Mass Effect, EA would probably oblige.
Yeah, probably. Right, I guess we should just wrap up this stream. It's gone on longer than I expected. So
Do not Google carbuncle, kids.
yeah, and yeah, I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow. Like, I don't know if you're gonna be around or not, Soph, but tomorrow will presumably be story time with Scrappy, and
For the love of Pete, don't look it up, you fool.
I mean, oh god, but yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna continue more of this game, but I guess we'll see. I've got so many other stream projects at this point, so I guess we'll just see what happens. But yeah, goodbye for now, I guess.
Am I hungry again? I had 2 servings of spaghetti. How am I hungry again?
Hope you made lots of spaghetti.